Chapter 5794. Unfortunately this time, he guessed wrong. The 9-story tower of the 9 tribulations is good. However, the strength of the guardian in this tower is a bit hard to understand. If relying on strength to avoid his attack, he still has some clues. The other party is like a ghost. Go back and attack again. A series of attacks could not hit the opponent at all. Be careful. The masked man's voice suddenly became severe, and when Jian Wushuang attacked, he avoided again. This time he not only avoided the attack, but also hit Jian Wushuang's head with his backhand and knocked hard. Jian Wushuang's eyes went black and he almost fainted. He was not injured, neither his origin nor his divine power had changed, but the moment he had just had an indescribable pain. Just like an adult hitting a child. Jian Wushuang held the back of his head, turned his head to look at the masked man who had hidden far away, and was completely angry. What a shame. What? Clenching fists with both hands, the red breath erupted from the body. What? The power of the beast broke out directly. With twice the power of the beast god, the divine power also came to 500,000. At this moment, he began to take it seriously. He didn't do it directly, but even crossed his arms, and figures began to appear behind him. Origin clone. The breath of each clone is the same. But the combat power is different. It's just that the combat power is different, others can't see it. He didn't believe that the other party could break this. Just fight here. There will always be a clone to meet each other. Although the combat power of the clone is much worse. But the opponent with a mask of 200,000 supernatural powers is still very relaxed. Thanks Tusk, you better not be touched by me. Jian Wushuang sneered. Several figures began to flicker. It was left by the afterimage. And the real body had already arrived in front of the opponent. 74 clones immediately surrounded the masked man. Surround the opponent and shoot together. But Jian Wushuang's deity stared at the opponent. He wanted to see how the other party avoided it. Then take the opportunity to sneak over. Avoid the 74 clones, but also pay attention to his deity. Can't avoid it at all. The space here is very small. There is not enough room for Shunfa to display. But the next moment, he was dumbfounded. The clone is perfect almost every shot, but the masked man quickly dodges with an incomprehensible body technique. Of all the clones, none of them can touch each other. And when he was watching from a distance, he had the illusion of shrinking into an inch. This place seems to have become wider. His crowded tactics are no longer feasible. Only the deity can sneak attack. 500,000 divine power, this is the threshold of the 5 tribulations realm. Coupled with a sneak attack and siege. He didn't believe it. Gather the chi with both hands, condense into a group. Throw it directly, and use the burst of breath to cover his own deity, quickly approaching the opponent's back, and a hand knife stabbed out. It was clearly hit, but Jian Wushuang couldn't laugh. The back shot in front of him shrank for a moment and then disappeared. That is the afterimage left by Shunfa. Even if his eyes are bad, his hands can feel it, hitting the air. Yes, I was able to keep up with my afterimage so soon, but you still have your whole cards, let's use it together. The masked man yawned with his hands behind his back. After Jian Wushuang heard it, he became even more angry. Especially when you see the yawn. Obviously look down on him. When has he been so angry? And the opponent's strength is obviously much weaker than him. There is a kind, don't hide. Jian Wushuang was obviously a little lost. He had just said it and regretted it. The masked man came to him again and in an incredible way. Jian Wushuang blasted a punch and hit the air. Before he could attack again, he felt a twisted sensation in his abdomen, which made the whole person convulse. The masked man really made a move this time. Not only did he shoot, but he also hit him by the way. Dodging his punch, the other party returned a punch and hit Jian Wushuang in the abdomen. Cold sweat appeared on the painful Jian Wushuang's forehead. Outrageous. But he didn't believe it. The power of 500,000 is not enough. That's 600,000. He hasn't lost the same level, and the key opponent's strength is not at the same level as him. How can I lose to the other side? A thing that a person is not a ghost or a ghost. 4 times the power of the beast god, directly increased by 200,000 divine power. The power of the whole body reached 600,000. It can be regarded as a small pinnacle of him. Shot again, but was still avoided. But this time, he didn't use the clone or sneak attack, so he hit the opponent's afterimage. The masked people are also somewhat different, exclaiming, "You still hide your strength, so what else can you use earlier? You don't have much time. Time is running out." Jian Wushuang frowned. He doesn't want to do a senseless offense anymore. The power of the beast also disappeared instantly. The other party said that the time is almost up. What does it mean? It's impossible. If you can't beat the opponent, you will have to kill him. Yes, I will only give you half an hour. If you don't beat me, you will have to wait a year before you come again. The time here is calculated according to the normal flow rate. You show the flow rate of time is useless. The masked man did not forget to explain the flow rate of time. Jian Wushuang breathed a sigh of relief. Chance to challenge once a year. In just 1 year, how can he improve? Even in the outside world, he can accelerate time, but he cannot improve much. Besides, a year later, it is already a holy meeting. He didn't have time to come back to the Tower of 9 Tribulations. The opponent is so weird, especially the opponent's dodge, if you can learn it. Then invincible. When the time comes, the Lord of the Universe in the 6 Tribulations realm will not be afraid. I don't know what benefits will be gained by defeating the opponent. Of course, the best thing is to teach him this trick. He took the opportunity to ask, "You haven't said what is the advantage of defeating you, otherwise I will be in vain." "You are right, defeating me is really a waste of work. As for the good, it is the achievement you made at the moment you defeated me," his face calmly replied. Jian Wushuang almost vomited blood. What is the achievement at the moment of defeating him? Is it possible that the opponent is the best in time and space? Defeating him, he will be invincible? It is ridiculous. If you don't believe me, you can try it. The masked man was very confident in himself. Jian Wushuang said coldly, "Try it, try it." After speaking, the breath on his body suddenly turned blue. Eternal change. The blue Jian Wushuang's combat power may not be as strong as the 600,000 divine power, because he is still an emperor, his origin has not changed much, and his promotion is not as exaggerated as his divine power. When he reaches the Lord of the Universe, he will still have the strongest origin. But there is a certain kind of self-confidence that makes him feel that the blue self is more confident. The key is that he can use the eternal thickening, which can increase the sword, so that he can use the Starry Sky catalog. He didn't believe that the other party could avoid his star catalog. Chapter 5795. The Sword of Life cannot be avoided. Unless the other party is not a life. However, this is really possible. He doesn't look like a person at first glance. The power of the Starry Sky? The masked man commented, "This is a bit interesting." Jian Wushuang opened his mouth in surprise, and said blankly, "You even know the power of the stars?" The power of the Starry Sky, too little is known in the long river of time and space. What he had seen was also Nai Yuan who had used the power of the stars. This is the power that belongs to the Starry Sky. The other party even knows this. If you think about it, it's actually nothing. The Tower of 9 Tribulations is the same as the chessboard of Guantian. Probably all spread from the stars. Knowing the power of the Starry Sky is also normal. You don't think that you are the only one who has the power of the Starry Sky, the masked man said, his body shape changed and his breath turned blue. And the arc is also flashing. At this moment, Jian Wushuang was not only shocked, but also felt the origin of the other party. Time is mixed in that equity source. Hurry up, you only have a stick of incense left. Jian Wushuang was not talking nonsense either, holding the hilt in his right hand, and directly drew out the sword of 10,000 tribulations. Starry Sky Catalogue. The first sword. As soon as the voice fell, a green breath burst into the monotonous hall. Life. He knew the moment he felt the origin of the other party. One sword. Life, fall. That is death. Looks like a sword cut out. It's a double sword slippery cut. Life goes with death. At this moment, He really felt it. The feeling of the blade passing through the opponent's body. Kang. Take the sword. All in one go. Slowly turned around, looked at the other person's grey figure, and said, "You loss. What sword technique did you use just now?" The masked man's stiff voice came. Jian Wushuang said calmly, "Starry sky swordsmanship." "You're lying." The masked man shook his head. He didn't think it was a starry sky swordsmanship. He originally came from the stars. How could he have never seen this kind of swordsmanship? It broke his freedom. "I have no reason to lie to you. This is the starry sky sword that I created. Perhaps it is not called the starry sky, but it is the starry sky I painted." Jian Wu had no expression on both sides. At the moment of victory, he didn't have much joy. Because he seemed to really get a sense of comfort. This mood is very special. He is too late to taste. Disappeared. Maybe. The body of the masked man recovered again. When looking at Jian Wushuang, there was a strange color in his eyes. "You are the first practitioner who defeated me for the first time against me. No wonder you were chosen." The masked man recognized Jian Wushuang's strength very much. Not only strength, but more importantly Jian Wushuang's swordsmanship, made him admire him with admiration. Jian Wushuang raised his eyebrows and said, "Is there anyone else who came to the Nine Tribulations Pagoda before? It's too much. Not long ago, a celestial lady from your time and space came here, but she defeated my first-tier clone after tens of thousands of times." Jian Wushuang was startled when he heard it. It's not that it's too bad. Instead, he was stunned when he heard the word Tianv. Not long ago. The other party's concept of time is too exaggerated. There have been hundreds of millions of epochs since the fall of the goddess. Tens of thousands of times. In other words, there are more than thousands of 8 Tribulation Realm universe masters born and fallen. What a long time this is. In the opponent's mouth, it was not long ago. Could the goddess have not fallen yet? This is also a possibility. When he entered this place, he was intercepted by a goddess. It was Huiqing who blocked the opponent. And Huiqing also fell into the ancient moon ruins. That's where the goddess fell. This has always been a mystery. Now there is a chance to ask the other party about the goddess. But the other party's answer made him dumbfounded. The goddess has indeed fallen, but her spirit is still in this world. It is beyond reincarnation. Beyond reincarnation, that also represents eternity. How could it fall after the eternal existence? Jian Wushuang slurped his head and became increasingly confused. When he wants to ask each other. The masked man took off his mask. A delicate face appeared before his eyes. Difficult to distinguish between male and female. His face is pale. He has white hair on top of his head with a high crown. Behind him, there is this huge ring, much wider than his body. "From now on, you can call me Wise." As soon as the voice fell, a scepter fell into Li Si's hands. The original source and divine aura of the opponent's body had disappeared. Jian Wushuang looked at each other now, as if he was looking at the air. If it weren't for having a pair of eyes, you wouldn't be able to feel the other person's existence by just thinking. When he faced the Lord of the 7 Tribulations Realm universe, the other party did not deliberately hide, and he would feel a breath like the sun. But facing Li Si, Jian Wushuang didn't notice anything. This is very strange. Either the other party deliberately suppressed his breath, or his strength surpassed him too much. Wise. Jian Wushuang said silently, and then asked, "Now you can talk about the usefulness of this pagoda of 9 tribulations." Li Si covered his mouth and smiled and said, "Of course I can tell. I will be your master in the future, and you can tell you everything you want to know, master." Jian Wushuang was surprised. "You want to be my master?" Unexpectedly, refining a treasure, there is such a strange thing. Also apprentice. But what he cares most is the pagoda of 9 tribulations, whether it has anything to do with teacher Xuani. Can resonate with the Guantian chessboard, because it is the reason of the treasure of time and space, or because of the teacher Xuani. Now the other party jumped out and asked him to apprentice. Jian Wushuang, who made him, was a little at a loss. But when he thinks that even a goddess has rushed tens of thousands of times to pass, he can pass it once, and a sense of satisfaction arises spontaneously. It seems that apprenticeship does not suffer. Jian Wushuang took a deep breath and was about to kneel down to apprentice, but was stopped by Weiss. You don't need to salute like this. In my world, the master-disciple relationship is just a tool. Weiss' words were very straightforward, making Jian Wushuang not know how to answer for a while. Upon seeing this, Weiss continued and said, You will understand later, there is also this small tower, it is not called 9. Halfway through the conversation, Weiss seemed to have thought of something, and finally shook his head, and said calmly, You call it the Tower of 9 Tribulation. You said that the goddess also rushed through, why did he fall and you are still alive? Jian Wushuang looked at the other party so straightforwardly, but he was not restrained. After hearing this, Weiss looked stunned, then tapped Jian Wushuang's head with his scepter, and said dissatisfied, I am a god, how can I die? She covered her mouth and smiled after she said it. According to common sense, the goddess should also be his disciple, no wonder it is just a tool. Chapter 5796. The disciple died, and he was still laughing. Are you a god? Does eternal existence? Jian Wushuang continued to ask. He never understood the concept of God. In the ordinary times, there are gods, but when you really reach that level, it's not a big deal to find gods. It can also be killed. At this time, I heard people claiming to be gods again. He really didn't understand. Wes covered his mouth and coughed twice, and said, You mean the 3 from upstream time and space? Eternal existence. It's actually a name for Jian Wushuang. For the 3 true pinnacle powerhouses, there is no complete name. It has anything called it. Yes, that's the 3 superpowers, their strength should be the same as the original goddess. Jian Wushuang said excitedly. If so, Navis' strength would be hard to guess. Can teach a character like a goddess. You are wrong. The 3 you mentioned are also in the tribulation realm, and the goddess are also the same. These people have not yet escaped the shackles and are not gods, and I am the true of the entire time and space. Weiss finished speaking, his eyes looked they are all a bit sharp. Jian Wushuang couldn't help taking a step backwards. The breath of an instant reminded him of the eye he saw from the starry sky. Too strong. It makes people unable to breathe. He understood the concept of God now. Weiss said that only he is a god, and the rest are still in the tribulation state. The probability of the original goddess is also the 9 tribulations realm. Above the 9 tribulations realm, there is a stronger existence. It's just that there is nothing in the long river of time and space. Since you are the only god, why are you in this small tower? Jian Wushuang said in doubt. The opponent is so strong, why are they still trapped in the small tower? And also accept apprentices as tools. This doesn't make sense. The Tower of 9 Tribulations, it's not as simple as you think. I am entrusted by others here, and I can't tell you this. Weiss' answer made Jian Wushuang think of teacher Xuani. Then he asked, Is it an old man named Shen Yi, entrusted by others? Weiss just shook his head without answering. Jian Wushuang was a little speechless. The other party who is guilty is God. Don't know anything. But it seems that it has nothing to do with teacher Shen Yi. But how should the resonance from the Guantian chessboard be explained? According to Weiss, the Guantian chessboard does not belong to time and space, but a treasure in the starry sky. The Tower of 9 Tribulations is also a treasure in the starry sky. The 2 are not of the same level, but come from the same place. That's why there was some resonance, and finally opened the pagoda of 9 tribulations. Jian Wushuang was not very satisfied with this explanation. He is not interested in Weiss. To be precise, Weiss' tone was too loud. The strong road, he wants to go. But I have not forgotten my original intention. Walking in time and space, looking for teacher Xuani, but also to find his own way. Rather than being guided by God. Seeing Jian Wushuang's silence, Weiss talked about the pagoda of 9 tribulations. Jian Wushuang, you will be my disciple from now on, but you can't reveal my identity, and I won't care about your life or death, but I will teach you the most powerful secret method in time and space, and you will reward me. Become the strongest in this time and space. Weiss said his purpose. Jian Wushuang was not surprised when he heard it. Become the strongest in this time and space. This can't be said that the other party's tone is loud, but that he has just witnessed the strength of the other party. To be honest, I am not interested. Jian Wushuang shook his head. He has now created a catalogue of the starry sky, and when he is the Lord of the universe, he will be able to create even more powerful super-eternal changes. There is no shortage of powerful secrets at all. He always doubted the identity of the other party. I don't want to forge cause and effect with people anymore. You have to pay it back when you come out. The first person in time and space, how easy it is. If the opponent is just a true spirit, he may be tempted because he cannot be restrained. But the other party is a he can't see through. How to cooperate? Not sure. Weiss seemed to see through Jian Wushuang. The scepter tapped the ground lightly, and the surrounding scenes instantly changed. Jian Wushuang, how much do you know about time and space? How much do you know about the stars? Wes said, raising his hand to evoke an arc. That is Jian Wushuang's lifeline. At the same time, it is also the timeline of Jian Wushuang. You came from the mundane and traveled through many material realms. Then you entered a strange universe. Let me see what you have experienced. The timeline that even the true spirit of Qi Temple could not see was extremely simple in the eyes of Weiss. Jian Wushuang was also taken aback. I looked up and saw my life from weak to strong. Weiss looked at Jian Wushuang about divine power universe, nodded and said, no wonder your strength is so strong. It's kind of interesting. It seems that your spiritual path has been changed by someone. He should not touch this time and space. It's a pity that I can't find him, otherwise he will be punished. Change the time? Jian Wushuang was taken aback. Then I thought of my future self. The future self has failed in harmony. He originally thought that he had succeeded in harmony with his strength now, but he did not expect that someone had changed his timeline. And that person is not at this time. It's not Teacher Xuani. He already had the answer in his heart. But he couldn't believe it. And the words of Weiss. He dared to speak out the punishment. That shows that you are in the same realm with Teacher Xuani's sky. Weiss smiled and stared at Jian Wushuang and said, don't be surprised. Time and space are transmitted from the starry sky. There is nothing impossible. Your timeline is now in my hands, and no one can change it anymore. Who is the one who changed it? Why doesn't this time exist? Jian Wushuang seized the opportunity to ask what the secret was in his body. He is nothing. In the present time and space, he doesn't exist at all. Perhaps as he said, he will see you in the future. See you in the future. When is the future? Jian Wushuang was silent. There is a sorrow in my heart. Now his goal is to kill the life, and his future goal is to find Teacher Xuani. What about after that? In the future, he may be lonely. Lost the meaning of practice. Im deprise. Wes stepped forward, patted Jian Wushuang's shoulder lightly, and said, you don't have to be sad, the road to the future is very long, and the world you see is actually outlined, so you don't have to be nostalgic. No, it is a world of flesh and blood, you high gods, don't understand at all. Jian Wushuang shook his head. From the mundane to the present, he feels too much. Even if the Taoist heart is perfect, it will retain a trace of respect for the secular. God. I don't understand. Because God does not come from a weaker age. When the other party spoke, Jian Wushuang guessed it. Tower of 9 tribulations. It seems that I have to add another sum to myself. Being strong is not the goal. The purpose is to pursue a powerful process, that is the meaning of existence. Chapter 5797. The loud horn sounded. On this day, the strong from all sides of Vietnam gathered in the royal capital. Holy meeting. Advent. The female emperor personally led the team, and the entire Yu country, including all forces, was divided into 2 factions. One faction is the royal family powerhouse. Naturally the person of the empress. For example, Jian Wushuang and Wu Li, as well as the one whom Wu Li wooed. There are also some strong men of the Yu royal family. The other faction is the people of the 7-star sect. Elder Mu Chen is also included. The 7-star sect is actually a subsidiary sect of the 8-star sect. although it is from the Gumu faction on the bright side. But the sacred meeting will still help the strong in the country, but it is vying for a good ranking. If it is normal, I am afraid there will be nothing. But this time the holy meeting, the female emperor is determined. The strong people who can see this holy meeting are all super beings of the same level. 4 strong emperors. 2 royal families. Naturally, Jian Wushuang and his wife. The other 2 are from Qingyunmen. Lord of the Universe, 24. The Lord of the Universe in the 5 Tribulations realm is the only female emperor, who needs all-out assistance this time. There are 4 Masters of the Universe in the 4 Tribulation realm. 2 royal families, 1 Qingyunzong, and the Patriarch of the 2nd family of the Yu Kingdom, the Li Patriarch, also went out in person. The remaining Masters of the Universe are all the pinnacles of the 3 Tribulations realm. Powerhouses from major families and 2 major forces. Today is their day of departure. Jian Wushuang also happened to have left the Tower of 9 Tribulations today. Outside the Imperial Palace, as a cold voice sounded, all the powerhouses boarded the battle boats that had already been prepared. Set off. The strong men who participated in the sacred congregation boarded a war boat alone. On both sides of the warship, there are 2 larger warships. The riders in Shangfen were all family elders and Tianjiao among the emperors. When the congregation opens, the strong people who participate in the congregation often don't have as many strong people watching it. Just like this time, there are tens of thousands of strong people watching the holy meeting. However, there are only dozens of strong men from Vietnam participating in the holy meeting. After boarding the war boat, Jian Wushuang, Elder Mu Chen and Wu Li sat in front of a case. The 3 chatted. Princess Jin Chen, rarely quiet, sat silently. Jian Wushuang knew what she was thinking. It's nothing more than thinking of Shiju. This time, it was a chance for the 2 to meet. Jian Wushuang is not interested in this at all. Leaving Vietnam today. He might not come back. When the time comes, he and Wu Li will have to run away. Before Wu Li left, the core members of the family had been arranged. Jian Wushuang had nothing to worry about, just thinking about where he would go in the future. At the same time, he was also reminiscing about the things in the pagoda of 9 Tribulations. After Apprentice Weiss, he successfully entered the pagoda of 9 Tribulations for the 2nd time. Began to challenge the 2nd clone of Weiss. It is a pity that it is not an opponent at all, there is too much gap, and it can only stay in the 1st level of practice. There is nothing special about practicing in the pagoda of 9 Tribulations. Mainly when practicing the secret method that Weiss taught him, the practice is very smooth. Only in the pagoda of 9 Tribulations can we practice the secret method that Weiss teaches him. And it's the deity who goes to practice. Freedom to work hard. Jian Wushuang recalled the free limit that Weiss had displayed, and sighed in his heart for its power. It is extremely difficult to practice. Just getting started, he can't do it now. This is an extremely long span. According to Weiss calculations, he needs to go to the Lord of the Universe to get started. Fortunately, strong enough, he waited. As long as you get started, you have the hope of breaking through the 2nd floor of the pagoda of 9 Tribulations. Although it was very difficult to cultivate, it was powerful enough to make Jian Wushuang pay for it. Once he gets started, his combat power will soar rapidly. It's just that I can't help him now. It takes time to temper. On the way to the Jiu Mu sect, Jian Wushuang did not practice either. He has reached the limit of emperor in all aspects now. The original starry sky has lit up tens of thousands of black holes. It's just a matter of condensing into a physical universe. He also asked Weiss about the original universe. According to what the other party said, 10,000 black holes are already complete. There is no pressure at all to become the master of the universe. Just wanting to cross the threshold of the robbery still has to make a lot of effort. Only by becoming a catastrophe can you control the universe. What Jian Wushuang lacks now is the opportunity of the robbery realm. The holy meeting is also coming. His time is running out. In silence. Wu Li's eyes changed, and the sound transmission said, Jian Wushuang, do you have something on your mind? He was stunned for a moment, and then looked at Wu Ligang about to speak, only to realize that it was the sound transmission just now. Nothing, the sacred meeting is about to begin, what can be on your mind? Jian Wushuang answered through voice transmission. Mindful. Too much. It's just that this is not the time to think about this. He can no longer think about the ones that are not. Face the reality. There will be many 5 Tribulations Realm Universe Masters in this sacred meeting, all of whom are much stronger than Jian Wushuang. Still have to make good preparations. The details of Wu Li's plan have not yet been informed to him, and all these need to be negotiated. It's just that this place is not a place to talk about things. The two of them could only press and leave it alone, and smiled with Elder Mu Chen about the holy meeting. The purpose of this holy meeting report is very clear. Just for the saint candidate. All they have to do is to assist the Empress Fengchen to become a candidate for the saint. As long as you become a candidate, the rest will leave their business alone. At that time, it was also the time for Jian Wushuang and Wu Li to implement their plans. The saint of the ancient wood school, that needs to resonate with Wanliu Shenmu. No one can help the Empress at this point. The 16 kingdoms, as well as the forces in some secret realms on the ancient wood continent, the masters of the 5 Tribulations Realm universe, there are at least several hundred. Only less than 100 are able to compete for the position of the saint. Among these 100 people, there are only a handful of consummation masters of the 5 Tribulations Realm. There are only 4 candidates. 4 candidates. Fight for the position of the saint. This is the final battle. It has nothing to do with Jian Wushuang and the others. But taking this opportunity to sneak into the willows secretly, the relationship will be great. Not only will this congregation fail this time, it will also offend all parties. These are still trivial matters. I really went in, and when I came out, the things I had to face were terrible. The siege of countless strong men is not only as simple as robbing treasures. They will also investigate how they entered Wanliu. Ukanshu. This is the most important. Wu Li said, you can enter if you have the power of life. He didn't believe it at the time, and now it seems that he is indeed unreliable. Certainly a unique method is needed. He didn't know this, but Wu Li knew it. It's just that he is not easy to inquire. He could also see that Wu Li was not that simple. Fortunately, during this period of time, his combat power has improved by leaps and bounds, and Wu Li is definitely not his opponent even in the half-step 4 Tribulations realm. Not afraid of what the other party will do. I was afraid that the other party would use him and finally entered Wanliu by himself. This is what he has to worry about. Chapter 5798. Just as a few people were chatting, Empress Fengchen came to the hall of Zhangzhou. Everyone silenced and turned to look at the Empress. The Empress Fengchen glanced at the crowd, took her seat at the top, gently pressed her hand, and said calmly, "You don't have to be restrained. This king has just received the evaluation criteria of this holy meeting. You can take it and watch it. Prepare in my heart, half an hour later, we will discuss the tactics of this holy meeting." Jian Wushuang's eyes lit up, and several light beams flew towards the hands of the powerful. A scroll is wrapped in the beam. After unfolding, there are not only texts on the top, but also a demonstration of human shadows. Jian Wushuang, who looked at him, frowned. Ancient Wood Church. Assess the world infinite world, a big world southwest of Wanliu. The interior is extremely wide, much larger than the Stone Country. The new chapter of the Moon-Old Girlfriend of Hade's evaluation criteria. The first 4 teams reach the finish line, it is victory. So simple. Jian Wushuang blurted out. As soon as this remark came out, many people who heard it rolled their eyes. Elder Mu Chen came out at this time and explained, "Wu Shuang, you can't look at the surface in everything. You may not have heard of this infinite world. There are even the beasts of the 7 Tribulations realm inside, and since the Gu Mu sect has set this rule, I'm afraid there will be many dangers along the way, don't be careless. But, what's the point of doing this?" This sentence was a monologue in Jian Wushuang's heart. Did not say it. Wu Li saw it, and added, "The danger along the way is just one point. It's more chance. Moreover, according to the character of the Gumu school, not all the rules are shown to us this time. There must be other things. The rules need to be informed after we arrive. Otherwise, if we know in advance, someone may prepare in advance. This remark made Jian Wushuang some recognition. Spanning the entire infinite world. The important thing is the process. It certainly won't be that simple. Jian Wushuang also started to look forward to it. Emperor, Lord of the Universe. Although the road is the same, the encounter is different. That's why there are places for emperors. Jian Wushuang had known this for a long time. Otherwise, let the emperor go, it is to die. The three great war boats lined up side by side and soon left the territory of Vietnam. The female emperor was also at this time, beginning to explain the Gumu school. Everyone listened carefully. Before entering the infinite world, we will be divided into 5 teams. After entering, we must gather at the 7th starting point as quickly as possible, otherwise we will lose to other forces at the starting point. In order to cooperate with each other, you will divide the team by yourself. No pop-up window in mainland. As soon as the female emperor's voice fell, everyone began to look at each other. On Jian Wushuang's side, the team has taken shape. Headed by Elder Mu Chen, Wu Li, Zhou, Jian Wushuang, and Jin Chen. 2 emperors. 3.5 step 4 tribulation realm of the universe masters. Except for Zhou, the others are familiar with Jian Wushuang. Which 9 tigers was a half-step 4 tribulation realm powerhouse that Wu Li wooed, and his strength was not weak. The rest will solve it by themselves. The female emperor is naturally the lord of the 4 tribulations realm universe with the 2 royal clans. The rest was divided into 5 teams. Elder Mu Chen led one. The Li family leads one. A young prince from the Vietnamese royal family leads one. Jin's latest chapters Qing Yunmen leads a team. The last is a team united by small families. The superficial tactics are just superficial division of labor. The real tactics may not be known until they enter the infinite world. They don't know much about the infinite world. But the Empress must know more. Jian Wushuang also learned a lot about the infinite world from other populations. Start and end. According to what Jian Wushuang knew, at first they would be transported to the periphery of the infinite world at will, and they would need to set off on their own to the starting point of Huehe, and finally set off together. Then it's the end. Reaching the end means reaching the end of the infinite world. I'm really not a foodie. The latest chapter it was already very close to Wanliu Shenmu. Only the top 4 teams are eligible to go to the periphery of Wanliu Shenmu. In other words, Jian Wushuang and Wu Li must help the female emperor win the top 4 position. Wu Li also glanced at Jian Wushuang at this time and nodded secretly. But there was a sneer in his heart. It was not Wu Li's voice, but a voice that existed in Wu Li's body for a long time. That was the chance existence of Wu Li becoming the lord of the universe. When that voice sounded, Wu Li's expression remained unchanged, but from the bottom of his heart he said, "Teacher, is the end of the infinite world still far away from Wanliu?" "It's not far away. Even if your female emperor of Yu Kingdom can't become the top 4, I can take you to the periphery of Wanliu." Mysterious voice sounded in Wu Li's heart. The latest chapter of the time against the current Wu Li frowned, and then said, "Then this Jian Wushuang? Naturally kill chickens to get eggs." The war boat was faltering, and within a month, the 16 kingdoms came out of the grass. Further forward, there is boundless chaos. That is an unexplored world. The Gumu school is among them. Before the distant age of the goddess. The entire ancient wood continent is chaotic. It was Shenmu King who led the strong and opened up the ancient wood sect Holy Land. Eventually evolved the 16 kingdoms of grass. And the major secrets. At this time, the 16 kingdoms, as well as the teams from the major secret realms, came one after another. The immortal legend has no pop-up window. There is a momentum of 1,000 immortals coming to the dynasty. Shiguo's team is the largest. 100 masters of the universe have come. There are 3 masters of the universe in the 5 tribulations realm. There is also a daughter country. Although the Lord Yunji became the 7 tribulations realm, the daughter country would not be so arrogant that he would not participate in the holy meeting. There were also 2 5 tribulations realm universe masters coming. In the major eras, The daughter country has taken the position of the saint several times. This time I also have great confidence. Since Jian Wushuang had been to the daughter country, he had some understanding of the powerhouses in the daughter country. As far as he knows, this time the daughter country dispatched Gemini, 2 masters of the universe in the half-step 6 tribulations realm. The strength is only slightly weaker than Feng Chen. It is the hot spot of this holy meeting. The 16 kingdoms, the eternal kingdom has been destroyed. Only 15 countries remain. Your country can't even enter the top 10. But it doesn't mean that the masters of the non-trivial universe of all forces are stronger than the female emperor. On the contrary, the strength of the Empress Fengchen can be ranked in the top 5 among the 16 countries. In this sacred assembly, among the hundreds of 5 tribulation realm cosmos masters, all can rank in the top 10. The specific number can be ranked, this needs to be verified in battle. Jian Wushuang was also evaluating his position. He doesn't care about the position of the saint, but he must help the Empress win the top 4. This is the bottom line. With his current combat power, he can indeed control the general battle situation. But if you have to deal with the masters of the universe in the half-step 6 tribulations realm, there is not much confidence. The strongest trump card, Star Catalogue, he can master the 2 swords of life and death. It was already comparable to the Lord of the 5 tribulations realm universe. However, the Lord of the universe in the 5 tribulations realm has strengths and weaknesses. Chapter 5799. The powerful can burst out 800,000 supernatural powers. The weak can also explode 600,000 supernatural powers. It's all his extreme combat power. Fortunately, he was just an emperor on the surface, and no one would care about him by then. Once you make a move, you must take advantage of it and attack the vitals. On the deck of the war boat, the well-divided teams are all gathered together. Watch the scene in the chaotic airflow. The thunder flashes one after another, and the world seems to be gestating something. This is the wonder of everything. Jian Wushuang is quite familiar with this. The rest are in awe in their hearts. There are still 3 days away from the Gumu school. I still have something to prepare for my practice, so I won't chat with you. Zhouhu finished speaking, clasped his fists, and left. Jian Wushuang looked at the other side's back, to a place where there was no doubt. Brother Wu Li, the strength of this person is not easy. Elder Mu Chen narrowed his eyes slightly. He could see that the strong man named 9 Tigers possessed extremely strong divine power in his body. Once it breaks out, I am afraid it can rise to 400,000 supernatural powers. This is the pinnacle of the Lord of the 3 tribulations realm universe. No matter how high it is the strongest of the 4 tribulations realm. Wu Li said calmly, the strength of Brother 9 Tigers is indeed good. I once intercepted and killed a secret realm Tianjiao with him outside the territory, and that Tianjiao was still the lord of the 4 tribulations realm universe. No wonder. Mu Chen nodded. Jian Wushuang's face was dark, and things like intercepting Tianjiao could all be said. And looking at Mu Chen's expression, there was no surprise. I'm afraid these 2 people did not do anything less. Of course, they all regard Jian Wushuang as their own, so there is nothing to hide. Unparalleled nephew, this time we enter the infinite world, we must be cautious of those strong in the secret realm. These people are very crazy. They are basically enemies of the 16 nations. They do not have a better training environment, so they have always been the grassy 16 kingdoms are eagerly watching. Elder Mu Chen reminded from the side. Jian Wushuang didn't speak, but just nodded. The other party's cheeks are too thick, and he has nothing to say. Most of the powerhouses in the secret realm were driven out of the 16 kingdoms. That's why it is hostile. As for the counterattack of the 16 nations, that would be somewhat impossible. The background of the 16 kingdoms is too strong. The battle power of the Lord of the Universe may be fairly equal on both sides. However, those who rob the strong must be the more powerful 16 kingdoms. The strong in the secret realm hasn't experienced too many times, and the foundation can't be compared with the 16 kingdoms. Such as the 7-star sect. Among the 16 kingdoms, there are dozens of 7-star sects. However, There are no more than 10 seven-star sects in the secret realm. This is the bottom line. And there has never been an 8 tribulations realm powerhouse in the secret realm. These are incomparable. Jian Wushuang showed no mercy to these people, but he would not be hostile to them for no reason. This is to cause trouble for myself. But he could see the sense of superiority in the eyes of Elder Mu Chen and Wu Li. Is to disdain the strong in the secret territory. 3 days. Several people stood on the deck, and for a long time saw some war boats drifting by. All forces have gathered. About to arrive at Gumu School. Jian Wushuang also felt a long ancient breath in his heart. That is the breath that never appeared in Shiguo. Wow! The high bow of the warship broke through the chaotic air current. The surrounding area is no longer covered by the yellow atmosphere, instead it is full of greenery. What appeared before their eyes was a huge green world. The sky is blue and the ground is green. Very fresh. If you don't know people, you think this place is a paradise. It is not. This place is very close to the Gumu School. It is a buffer zone facing the chaotic air current. On the seemingly plain grass, a huge pink behemoth suddenly sprang up. The body of this giant beast is extremely large, as long as thousands of miles. Countless sharp teeth keep spinning. After looking up at the war boat in the sky, he rushed underneath again. On the grass, only a few deep holes were left, and calm was restored again. Jian Wushuang was not surprised by this. These desolate beasts, with a high probability, ran out of the chaotic airflow. They would haunt here at best, and further on were the trump cards of the ancient wood school. No matter how powerful, touching the ancient wood faction is death. Unknowingly, tens of thousands of war boats gathered in the sky in all directions, covering the sky and the sun. For a time, the black mist rolled. It's not like Wanxian came to the kingdom, but like the devil's army oppressing the realm. If someone said that the Gumu sect was a demon power, Jian Wushuang would believe it. Across countless spaces, Jian Wushuang saw an outline. The outline of a fangs and claws. The eyes of the beast turned, and Jian Wushuang saw a magnificent scene between his eyebrows. It is a huge tree branch, spanning several worlds. It is comparable to the size of a country. The Gumu School is located above. Rumor has it that this branch fell off from Wanliu. On this branch, whether it is to cultivate divine power, or to disperse and protect one's divine power, it has a great effect. On the warboat, many people came to the Jiumu faction for the first time. All were shocked. Just as Jian Wushuang wanted to turn his head to talk to Elder Mu Chen and the others about this matter with the branches, he found that Princess Jin Chen, who was standing next to him, was looking at the opposite position. The brows were still frowning. Following her gaze, Jian Wushuang saw several familiar figures on the bow of the warship with the flag of the Menhe Kingdom. In an inconspicuous position, there are also these emperors. Shiju. And beside Shiju, there was a young girl wearing a fiery red armor. Look at the clothes and the mark on the eyebrows, it should be a person from the Flame Kingdom. I really don't know this. But he could see that Jin Chen was very concerned about it. Don't look, I'm still panting. Jian Wushuang yin and yang let out a strange cry. Jin Chen blinked and said, sometimes, I think, if you and I are really in one mind, maybe I will really forget him. Then you should think about him. Jian Wushuang rolled his eyes. Elder Mu Chen and Wu Li were a little embarrassed. But neither of them spoke yet. Wu Li knew Jian Wushuang. This time the two must run away. Elder Mu Chen didn't know, he thought the two were just bickering between husband and wife. Thanks Tusk, don't forget, you still owe me a favor, Jin Chen reminded. Jian Wushuang nodded and replied, I haven't forgotten. If you want to use that favor, let me kill the descendant of the flame god, you can also discuss it. Back in the daughter country, the Lord Yunji helped him give him a token of the sword Immortal Tonghe, which was naturally a great favor. It's just this kind of grace, I want him to return it to Jin Chen. If the other party really has any special needs, he doesn't mind the shot. After all, it will be difficult to see each other again in the future. I owe a lot of favors, and I can pay it back sooner. Chapter 5800. Jin Chen heard his speculation, took a deep breath, and decided to return to the cabin. She had been able to calmly communicate with Jian Wushuang a long time ago, but she found that Jian Wushuang had less and less taken her seriously. Looking at Jin Chen's exquisite back, Jian Wushuang sighed. Elder Mu Chen smiled and patted him on the shoulder and said, "Don't care too much about Wushuang's nephew. Jin Chen, a girl who has been spoiled since childhood, will get better." "I didn't mean that." Jian Wushuang shook his head. He didn't feel any dissatisfaction with Jin Chen's approach. On the contrary, he still wanted to quickly repay the favor debt. After the sacred meeting, the entire country of Yu will be implicated by him. If the Empress can become a saint, it will be easy. If you can't become a saint, I'm afraid it will be difficult to do in the future. Jian Wushuang was still a little guilty about this. Unlike Wu Li, even the family can shrink or even give up. Unfortunately, his purpose in Jiu-Yu's time has never been to gain a firm foothold. What he has to do is to become the Lord of the Universe at an extremely fast speed. Then go to find other people in 9 days and 10 places. Huiking's location is already known. But you can't go in a hurry. Fan Tianfeng was ready to return to Qi Temple in advance, and he couldn't rely on it anymore. Can only go to other people. Wu Zhe had a good relationship with him, and he didn't know where the other party was. There are Zhen Wuyang, Tongtian Buddha, Dongsheng and Wanyan. As for the others, if they can meet them, they can help. These people were all brought by him from Kishendian. The original intention of Zhenling was to send him out alone. One is optimistic about Jian Wushuang. Secondly, it is because of Jian Wushuang's fetters with Maisheng. Since you can't beat it, then avoid its edge first. Na Chengxiang finally left the top 10 inheritors at one time. Some of these people may have selfish motives. There is even a gap between Jian Wushuang and Jian Wushuang. But since they have been brought to Jiu time and space, they must be brought back in their entirety. And Hu Iqing, even in the ancient moon ruins, they will tell the other party to rescue them. Tower of 9 Tribulations. It is his greatest confidence now. With the teachings of Weiss, as long as you practice the free extreme Yi Gong to the realm of great achievement, he is basically invincible. What is the ancient moon ruins? That's just a place where the goddess sits. According to Weiss, the goddess is also his disciple. How could Jian Wushuang lose to a dead man? Go back alive. Kill life. Take back everything that belongs to the original universe. He will avenge the old man sheep's hatred. Jian Wushuang stood at the bow of the ship, his eyes looked like giants. Gumu School is getting closer and closer. Countless war boats suddenly stopped. In the sky in front of them, barriers appeared. That is the formation of the Gumu School. Wow! In the huge screen, a figure was revealed, and then his figure was revealed. A strong man in the 7 Tribulations realm. He is also the head of the contemporary Gumu School. It's a coincidence. Jian Wushuang also knew each other. This 7 Tribulation realm powerhouse, who seemed to be from the ancient Wood School, actually took refuge in Emperor Beibai's sect. I don't know if Barbie Di will come. Maybe I missed the chance here. Dear friends, please receive the magic weapon and follow me into the ancient Wood Holy Land. The war boat disappeared into the sky instantly. Countless figures stood densely in the void. There are also several 7 Tribulation realm powerhouses. They were all scattered robbers, so naturally they couldn't see the holy meeting, they just came to watch. The master head teacher actually greeted me personally, it really made me wait for my face. Several 7 Tribulations realms stepped forward and exchanged a few words with the head teacher of the Jiu sect. They all set off and entered the ancient Wood Holy Land. The scenes are the same on both sides of the barrier. But the breath has undergone earth-shaking changes. Jian Wushuang who entered it felt a steady flow of life force in the branches. This branch comes from Wanliu. Nature contains great vitality. If it can be taken out, the value will be immeasurable. Unfortunately, I can't get it. If it can be taken out, Shenmu Wangye will not always show weakness. Jian Wushuang was still a little interested in which ancient Shenmu king. A strong king who once was in the 8 Tribulations realm. Although the rumors are not strong. But during the peak period, It was definitely much stronger than the current principle of the 8 Tribulations realm universe. After all, it is one of the oldest beings. I just don't know if I will have this opportunity to meet this time. Following the head of the Gumu school, they entered a circular coliseum. The seats around are enough to hold hundreds of millions of people. When they entered this place, they were also separated in an orderly manner. Those who enter the central clearing are all candidates who will see the holy meeting this time. Enough 10,000 people. 70% of them turned out to be forces from secret realms. Only 30% are strong in the 16 countries. The Gumu school is impartial to both parties. This also shows that in the backbone of the fighting force, the current 16 kingdoms is far inferior to the strong in the secret realm. Otherwise it will not be so much less. The two sides are also separated, the strong of the 16 countries stand on one side, and the strong on the secret realm stand on one side. Is this the beginning? Jian Wushuang was somewhat different. Feeling a bit hasty. At least entertain them. Turning his head and looking at the seats around, he has indeed begun to entertain those who watch the strong. As for them, they stood stupidly in the central clearing, waiting for their deaths. The head of the ancient wood school, and the contemporary saint, seated side by side. Everyone, today the holy meeting is opened, and from this moment on, the rules will be known after you enter the infinite world. As soon as he raised his head, he issued countless tokens. It fell into the hands of the strong man who saw the holy meeting. Jian Wushuang also received a copy. This token is so useful that you can't lose it if you die. After everyone carefully collected them, they waited for the next arrangement. The contemporary saintess of Gumu school is about to cross the 7th calamity at the peak of the 6 tribulations realm. The status is as high as Shishio in Shi Kingdom. Once successfully crossing the robbery, they are all leaders of their respective forces. She leaned slightly, looked at the people below, and said with an icy voice, "The ancient wood sacred assembly now begins." Without saying a word, the surrounding barriers began to vibrate. Jian Wushuang stood there, his mind was filled with tremendous power, and his figure fell into the darkness unconsciously. Everyone in the field disappeared instantly, and then a piece of sky appeared in the blank field. Umshu. The figure above shows everyone. For a time, many people stared at the figures they cared about. At the top of the viewing platform, there is a row of halls. Everyone sitting inside is a big man. The head teacher of the Gumu school has also entered here. Now there are more than 10 7 Tribulation Realm powerhouses gathered here, but they are all scattered Tribulation powerhouses. None of the masters of the universe in the 7 Tribulations realm came. There was not much at all. They are all cultivating, it's like Sanji, there is no need for cultivation, so they are so idle. The Lord of the Universe in the 6 Tribulations realm has come a lot. Among them is the Tonghe Sword Fairy who Jian Wushuang is familiar with. Chapter 5801. And the superpower of Shiguo Shishio in the 7 Tribulations realm, there is also a star refiner known to Jian Wushuang. This is a big man, and in the entire hall, he has the highest status. Many people came forward to talk. Dear fellow Taoists, what do you think of the list of candidates this time? As soon as the head teacher of the Jiu Mu sect raised his hand, a list floated in the air. The names of the 4 candidates also appeared above. The ancestor of the 7 Tribulations realm of Yu Kingdom, seeing that Feng Chen did not have the name of Feng Chen, looked a little ugly, but his strength and status were the bottom of these people, and he didn't say anything. It was a powerhouse from the 7 Tribulations realm of the Daughter Kingdom, and said, "I was out of the list just at the beginning, I senti it a bit anxious. Haha, there will be some discrepancies in this list, but the final candidates are probably these 4. This is a candidate selected by the Gumu faction based on intelligence. The position of the saint must be from the ancient wood continent. That is the core of the future Gumu school. It must be cleared by the background. If the background is not clear, even if the strength is strong, the Gumu faction will deliberately make things difficult to leave. The currently filtered list. 3 of them are strong in the secret realm, and the strong in the 16 kingdoms are very dissatisfied. Of the 7 Tribulation realm powerhouses here, only 3 came from the secret realm. 9 of them are all powerhouses of the 16 nations. The face of Gumu School's palm teacher remained unchanged, and he had nothing to do with it. This list was decided based on all the supreme elders in the Gumu sect. According to him, it is to suppress the 16 countries. Shi Guo has been very arrogant recently. In addition, the Kingdom of the Daughters has also produced a universe lord of the 7 tribulations realm. If this continues, this Gumu continent is not of the Gumu school. It's what those countries say, forget it. This is never allowed. If you can't suppress it face to face, then use resources. In fact, everything depends on the strength. The list does not explain the problem, Lianxing said indifferently at this time. The powerhouses of the 16 nations naturally hold together. In addition to the powerhouses of the 16 kingdoms and the secret realm, there are also some foreign powerhouses here. These powerhouses just watched indifferently without making a sound. There will be infighting everywhere. Hearing Star Refining speak, several 7 tribulations realm experts in the secret realm did not intend to refute. In fact, in terms of strength, the strong in the secret realm is more hopeful. Because this time too many powerful people were dispatched in the secret realm. The Lord of the Universe in the 5 tribulations realm is more than double that of the 16 kingdoms. How to compare? The final quota is a little more than the powerhouse of the secret realm. Senior Star Refining, does it have a promising team? The saint of the Gu Mu sect looked at Refining Stars and asked curiously. She saw that Lianxing had been staring at the sky, probably because she was optimistic about the team of a certain country. For example, Shi Guo. However, the strength of the 3-5 Tribulation Realm Universe Masters currently dispatched by Shi Kingdom was not outstanding in this conference. The combat power of a single body is not as good as Yu Guo. Hope it's much smaller. No, I'm just optimistic about someone. Lianxing shook his head and smiled. I heard that this time the Gu Mu sect has produced a lot of rare treasures in the Emperor's assessment. I wonder if there is such a thing. The head teacher of the Gumu sect was stunned for a moment, and then replied, there is such a thing. After all, the Emperor is the hope for the future, and indeed he has taken out a lot of rare treasures that can make them quickly cross into the tribulation realm. With that said, the bottom of my heart was shocking Lianxing's intelligence. This matter was decided only yesterday. You will know it today by refining the stars. I'm afraid that in the current Gumu school, someone has already started to stand in line. This is a terrible thing. The core of Gumu school. It's the elders who are too supreme. They are all qualified experts in the 7 tribulations realm, and although they are all scattered, the power of the ancient wood sect is in the hands of these people. None of the head teachers of the Gumu school are 2 elders. It is conceivable that it takes great credit to become the elders. And these elders did not jump out inexplicably. These powerhouses are the foundation left over from the accumulation of tens of thousands of times by the Gu Mu sect. If you continue to pursue it, these powerhouses will all come from 16 countries. This is a terrible thing. Don't look at the apparent suppression of the 16 nations, but once something goes wrong, something that has just been set here will be secretly passed back to the 16 nations. The strong in the secret realm want to stand up. How easy it is. The head teacher of the Gumu school knew this well. But his heart is no longer on the Gumu school. He is now Bobby's. Since learning that Dylan had cultivated the method created by Emperor Bobby and had reached the level of the 7 tribulations, he couldn't restrain the excitement in his heart. Maybe he can really break through again and become a strong person in the 8 tribulations realm. Compared with the combat power of the 8 tribulations realm, the headmaster of the Gumu school is a fart. Nothing counts. A half-dead 8 tribulations realm can control the entire Gumu sect. If he cultivates the method of Emperor Barbie and becomes a powerful person in the 8 tribulations realm, he is only weaker than the Lord of the Universe and stronger than the Shunmu King. After chatting for a while, these super beings took their seats and began to watch the powerful men in the sky. Following the eyes of these people, I saw the scene in the sky. Tens of thousands of powerful people have entered the world of infinity. If you are lucky, you are the closest to the starting point, and those with bad luck have even directly entered some forbidden areas, fighting against those deserts. Among them, there is Jian Wushuang. The infinite world, the whole world is an undeveloped savage world. A grass is a towering giant tree. A grain of dust is a magnificent mountain. The luck of Jian Wushuang and others was so bad that they arrived at a forbidden area as soon as they entered. A special being of the Four Tribulations realm level is still being held here. This special life is silver in its entire body, and its flesh is like iron. The explosion of divine power is endless. A few people can only flee. Although Jian Wushuang had the strength to solve this barren beast, there was no need to reveal his strength too early. Now it has just begun. At least after the official starting point, it will not be too late to break out. And in the forbidden area, Ukanshu, there is no treasure apart from that special life on Com, and fighting has no meaning. He is not nervous, but the rest are nervous. Brother Wu Li, you take Wushuang and Jin Chen first. Brother Zhouhu and I are dragging this special life. After a stick of incense, we will reconcile in a canyon in the southeast, and then head to the beginning of the infinite world. As the team leader, Elder Mu Chen quickly arranged a tactical plan. Naturally, we must first save the two emperors, and then leave behind. If Zhouhu were to take the two emperors to go first, then he would not be relieved. He took the initiative to pull the 9 tigers to stay, and they broke off together. Wu Li glanced back and said, "Be careful, at my speed, you can get a distance without a stick of incense." Elder Mu Chen burst into a green arrogance. Chapter 5802. The 9 tigers on the side didn't say much. He was a thug, and now when he didn't make a move, he roared and rushed directly. The silver giant, holding an ancient wooden foot, exploded with a sky-shaking aura. 2 half-step Four Tribulations realm masters of the universe, it is not too difficult to stop a special being from Four Tribulations realm. Special beings are not like the masters of the universe, but they are much stronger than those of the same rank. 2 half-step Four Tribulation realm cosmos masters are equivalent to 2 Four Tribulation realm dispersal tribulation, and the two join hands with each other to a special Four Tribulation realm being. You can fight and you can escape. There are no 2 oil bottles, Jian Wushuang and Jin Chen. There is no scruples. Boom. 9 tigers burst out with all their strength, and with a fist, he blasted the special life back millions of miles, then turned his head and said to Elder Mu Chen, "Let's go. It's been almost a stick of incense, and there is no need to fight anymore." Elder Mu Chen nodded, and turned around to drive away. That special life has self-consciousness, and naturally will not let the prey escape, and immediately catches up with the explosive speed. Elder Mu Chen sneered. With one hand, the towering giant tree on the ground instantly turned into a sharp sword, and when he raised his hand, he rushed directly to the special life. The silver giant's face was savage, and he smashed the sharp blade with just one stop. "It's also difficult." Mu Chen frowned, his speed weakened slightly, and a huge purple vine appeared behind him, and then wrapped his whole body. When Zhouhu saw it, his eyes lit up. The next moment, Elder Mu Chen stopped his figure suddenly and reminded him, "You go to the Wu Lihuahui first, and I will hold it." "Okay." Zhouhu did not hesitate, his speed exploded again, and he disappeared into the sky in an instant, leaving Elder Mu Chen alone. Elder Mu Chen grinned, facing the silver giant rushing crazily, only one hand withstood the opponent's impact. The purple vines on his body followed his palm and instantly spread to the silver giant. The vines continued to expand, directly enclosing the silver giant. It's a pity that the vine wraps Elder Mu Chen, and that is the battle armor. Wrapped in the silver giant, that is a deadly magic weapon. Let you beast look at what is the treasure of the acquired universe. Elder Mu Chen stretched out his hands, and then slammed together, and the silver giant was directly strangled and deformed. Elder Mu Chen clenched his fists with both hands, and the divine power on his body merged with the divine power of the vines, causing his divine power to skyrocket from about 400,000 to 450,000, which was already equal to this special life in the Four Tribulations realm. More powerful than many of the 4 scattered robbers. Ah! The terrifying red aura continued to erupt, and Elder Mu Chen yelled. After his divine power was completely stabilized, he rushed towards the bound silver giant, and his body was sunken with a punch, and his divine power continued to decline. One punch can hurt this special life. If you really fight to the death, I am afraid this special life is far from the opponent of Elder Mu Chen. At this time on the audience stage, because the assessment has not yet reached the starting point, the assessment is not officially started, so many strong people look a little listless. But seeing the sudden outbreak of Elder Mu Chen, one after another cheered up. Unexpectedly shocked Vines, this Yu Kingdom Mu Chen has reached the level of a real Four Tribulation Realm powerhouse. It's not a loss from the royal family of Yu. If I can get this frightening Vine, I can also burst out of this kind of combat power. Many people showed envious expressions of the horrified Vines on Mu Chen. Especially the strong in the secret realm, their resources are scarce. At this time, I saw a strong man from the Yu royal family who had scary Vines, and I was very jealous. It's his now, but not necessarily in the future. There is a superpower in my giant sea secret realm near him. A strong man in the secret realm, Yin Yong Wei Dao. It caused a lot of dissatisfaction among the powers of the 16 countries. But dissatisfaction goes to dissatisfaction, the facts are true. In the battle, the elder Mu Chen made a fierce and decisive move, and the silver giant he fought in defeat steadily. Divine power has dropped to about 400,000. If you really want to continue the fight, it is very likely that Mu Chen will be beheaded. This special life is not stupid, it can't take advantage of it, so it can only take the initiative to retreat. Had it not been for the task, Elder Mu Chen would not be willing to let him leave. A beast is a beast. Elder Mu Chen sneered, and took the frightened Vines. Just about to turn around and leave, he found several breaths coming in his direction. Mu Chen looked shocked. With a breath, he is the master of the universe in the Four Tribulations realm. There are also 2 masters of the universe in the Three Tribulations realm. Divine power is around 350,000. The master of the universe in the Four Tribulations realm possesses 500,000 divine powers. Encounter is by no means an opponent. Go. Mu Chen first hid his breath, then burst out at the fastest speed, rushing to the meeting place. But he had just left, and the 3 breaths had already arrived. The breath gathered, 3 burly figures stood in the air, the headed one was wolf-headed, and the other 2 were almost the same, with the dense blue hair on their bodies, dancing with the wind. Thanks, it seems that he is a strong man in the Yu Kingdom, he has a frightening Vine. The wolf-head strong man headed by him is a strong man in the Four Tribulations realm. But he was very interested in the shock Vines on Mu Chen. Because of these treasures, there are almost no masters of the Four Tribulations realm universe in the secret realm. If he can get it, this holy meeting will not come in vain. The treasures of the holy meeting need to be robbed. Even if you enter the core of the infinite world, the chance of encountering treasures is very small. If you want to it, you are the master of the 5 Tribulations realm universe. That has to do with them, the 4 Tribulations realm powerhouses. It is more reliable to grab the treasures of the other strong men. The fight in the holy meeting is disorderly. The forces behind it cannot be controlled at all. That's why these 3 powerhouses dare to chase after Elder Mu Chen unscrupulously. Catch him. Yes. The 3 breaths tore through the sky, and soon caught up with Elder Mu Chen. Feeling the breath approaching, Elder Mu Chen had no choice but to stop his figure. At the same time, it was still transmitting to Jian Wushuang and others. You can shoot. Calculating his own combat power and the combat power of his companions. Can you cope? This time, they were really unlucky. First, I encountered a special life in the Four Tribulations realm, and now I encountered a strong man in the mysterious realm. If it is the powerhouse of the 16 nations, it's okay to say that if you can't see you with your head down, you won't make a move at this time. But it happened that he encountered the strong in the secret realm. And looking at the other person's appearance, my heart sank. Sirius secret realm. After seeing the identity of the other party, Elder Mu Chen informed Wu Li of the news for the first time. Wu Li, who had already escaped from this place, led Jian Wushuang and the others to a valley and was still waiting for the arrival of Elder Mu Chen. End of this chapter. Chapter 5803. Unexpectedly, but received a more difficult news. What to do? Wu Li frowned. Jian Wushuang also shook his head secretly after learning about it. Now is not the time to shoot. The base camp that hasn't reached the starting point, take action now, either handle it cleanly without revealing its strength, or give up Elder Mu Chen. After thinking about it, Elder Mu Chen was pretty good to him, so just giving up like this is really unreasonable. But their current encounter is not a real exploration of mystery. It's in the appraisal world of the sacred congregation. Countless pairs of eyes from the outside world are staring at it. The emperor must be saved. What are you still hesitating? Princess Jin Chen was a little anxious. Even if Jian Wushuang is an emperor, why are the two half-step Four Tribulation Realm Cosmos Masters still hesitating here? Wu Li heard the words and said embarrassingly, His Royal Highness, things are not that simple. The other party is a wolf king in the secret realm of Sirius, the master of the universe of the Four Tribulations realm, with a divine power of up to 500,000. All of us together are not opponents, and the other party not just one person. There are also two masters of the universe with 350,000 supernatural powers. They rushed forward. Not only would they not be able to help Brother Mu Chen, but they would also distract Brother Mu Chen. Sanju is right. Jin Chen can't mess with this matter. Jian Wushuang also expressed comfort. Zhou is a thug, naturally he doesn't care. It's best not to go. The Princess Jin Chen didn't care about this. She directly took out the communication token and began to transmit the message to the Empress. Seeing this, several people quickly stopped. His Royal Highness, it's not that we don't want to save it. There is no need to trouble Your Majesty, her old man. Wu Li could only relax when he saw this. He knew that Jian Wushuang's strength was not weak. His supernatural power was at least 400,000. There is also Zhou. His strength is more than 400,000. Coupled with himself, it is possible to fight. It's just that they are all gone. What about Princess Jin Chen? All three have the same idea. Jian Wushuang broke the deadlock at this time and said, Why don't I go with Senior Zhou? Although my supernatural power is not good, I have confidence in speed. That's the only way. Wu Li was planning to take Zhou with him, but he didn't expect Jian Wushuang to take the initiative to stop it. The main reason why Jian Wushuang is so big is because he is afraid of delaying time. When the time comes, a few people will go together, and they may not know what will happen. It's better for him to take Zhou. Jian Wushuang's aura rose, and said calmly, Senior 9 Tigers, let's go, boom. The two rose directly into the sky and walked in the direction they had just arrived. After just a few breaths, he felt the huge movement in the sky ahead. The entire sky was torn apart, and in the dark cracks, the ground that was blown by the harsh wind changed color. Elder Mu Chen, here we are. Jian Wushuang and 9 Tigers arrived almost at the same time, directly blocking the two masters of the universe in the Three Tribulations realm. It's them. Zhou saw these three powerhouses, his eyes changed. Several powerhouses in the Sirius secret realm also recognized the 9 Tigers. Speaking of it, 9 Tigers also came from a secret realm, but they were not in Gumu continent. He also knew these powerhouses in the Sirius secret realm. Looking at the wolf, I didn't expect you to come to see the holy meeting. 9 Tigers punched and directly blasted a master of the universe from the Three Tribulations realm, and then went to Elder Mu Chen's side, and jointly resisted which one of the Four Tribulations realm. The strong, greedy wolf is the master of the universe in the Four Tribulations realm, with a full 500,000 divine power, and Ao Li Zukong's shots are extremely cruel. 9 Tigers, you would actually seek refuge in new country. I really didn't expect it. Greedy wolf replied coldly. Elder Mu Chen saw that the two sides knew each other and said, This fellow Taoist, who has not yet arrived at the base camp of departure, it is better for us to retreat separately and let the past go for nothing. At this time, you can fight without fighting. Otherwise, it is them who suffer. Haha, I didn't see the 9 Tigers. If you said that, I might give you a face to the country, but now, it's impossible. Greedy wolf turned his head and ordered to the two men, You two live the kid with the sword, and leave the rest to me. Although Jian Wushuang's breath erupted, others could only see that his divine power was not weak as the lord of the Three Tribulations realm universe, so Greed Wolf regarded him as the lord of the universe, and didn't know that he was an emperor. When Elder Mu Chen saw this, he reminded, "Unparalleled nephew, if you lose, you can retreat first, these beasts can't threaten me. Then stop talking nonsense." Greedy Wolf stretched out his claws and attacked directly. 9 tigers and Elder Mu Chen shouted at the same time, and greeted them together. In fact, the words of Elder Mu Chen just now were also kind. He is aware of Jian Wushuang's combat power. But Zhouhu didn't know. "I just knew that Jian Wushuang might be the strongest emperor in Gumu continent, comparable to the Lord of the Universe. He was ready to rescue Jian Wushuang at any time." When fighting against Greedy Wolf, his eyes kept staring at Jian Wushuang's safety. Those are the 2 masters of the universe with 350,000 supernatural powers. Standing in the void, Jian Wushuang slowly raised his hand to hold the sword of myriad tribulations behind him. At this moment, the void was trembling. The battle group next to it all slowed down. Even if Elder Mu Chen knew that Jian Wushuang was very powerful, he couldn't help but marvel at this moment. 9 tigers and Greed Wolf were even stunned on the spot, forgetting that they were still fighting. It was really the moment Jian Wushuang drew his sword, the shock was too great. In the holy land of the Gumu school, watching Jian Wushuang's several powerhouses, they were very calm. He was a little uncomfortable after refining the stars. He didn't expect Jian Wushuang to use the sword of 10,000 tribulations so quickly. That is a sword blank that is stronger than a god-rank sword blank. To kill 2 werewolves with a supernatural power of about 350,000, still use the sword of myriad tribulations? Among the puppets that Jian Wushuang defeated at the beginning, the weakest were the puppets with 500,000 supernatural powers. Jian Wushuang could kill any cosmic master in the 4 tribulations realm at will. To deal with the 2 masters of the universe in the 3 tribulations realm, using the sword of 10,000 tribulations is indeed a little overkill. Jian Wushuang didn't care about it. Myriad Tribulation Sword has not drunk blood yet. This is also an opportunity. 2 powerful men with 350,000 supernatural powers gave him the edge of the sword of myriad tribulations, which can be regarded as worthy of each other. In the trembling void, the 2 wolf-head powerhouses still don't know what kind of powerhouse they are facing. Thanks, stinky kid. One of them, a wolf-head strong man with red hair on his neck, suddenly shot, a pair of sharp claws, tore directly towards Jian Wushuang's face. At this moment, Jian Wushuang directly drew out the sword of 10,000 tribulations and slashed it casually. The whole void fell silent. The powerful werewolf with red hair didn't feel the power of the sword of myriad tribulations, so his eyes lost their color. Fallade. Greedy Wolf's eyes changed drastically. Jian Wushuang's strength was stronger than he imagined. 1 sword killed a strong man with 350,000 supernatural powers. Chapter 5804. Even he can't do it. This time, I was planning to the opponent's treasure, but one of my own fell away first. What kind of thing is it? The other master of the 3 tribulations realm universe hadn't reacted yet, standing still and didn't know what had happened. However, Jian Wushuang made a sword again. Greedy Wolf reacted this time, his body disappeared instantly, and then when he reached a companion, he had no time to pull him, so he could only kick his men out of the range of the sword with 1 kick. It's useless to just avoid it. What's more, how could Jian Wushuang's sword be so slow? Jian Ying turned around, and still cut to the neck of the Lord of the 3 tribulations realm universe. Feng Hu with a sword. The gorgeous bloodline burst instantly. You. Greedy Wolf was completely angry, ready to attack Jian Wushuang. Elder Mu Chen and Zhouhu also reacted, and went directly to Jian Wushuang's side, and the 3 of them faced Greed Wolf together. With 2 swords, 2 masters of the 3 tribulations realm universe were beheaded. And it hasn't revealed the true power. This made Greedy Wolf a little bit unable to see Jian Wushuang. Mu Chen's divine power is more than 400,000, and Zhouhu is about the same. It's just that there is no special treasure like the horror vine. Now add Jian Wushuang. Greedy wolves didn't dare to fall in love with him even if he still had a backhand. Just like what Elder Mu Chen said. The true starting point has not yet been reached. Why is it so laborious? H. You are lucky this time. Greedy wolf snorted coldly, turned and left directly. Jian Wushuang and others naturally did not chase. Since then, the Sirius secret realm has lost 2 powerhouses. But this loss is not too great. The cruelty is still to come. It's just a little trouble now. After solving the predicament, Elder Mu Chen breathed a sigh of relief. Unparalleled nephew, your strength seems to have risen a lot. Mu Chen's eyes were a little envious. An emperor, so powerful. As long as you become the realm of tribulation, you do not need to suppress the realm, you can cross the 3 tribulations and become the lord of the universe. Even cross the 4 tribulations. In all ages, there is no shortage of such super talents. There are those who have crossed the 5 tribulations in a row. And which rumored emperor is not as good as Jian Wushuang compared to Jian Wushuang? If Jian Wushuang's sacred meeting ends this time, he will get enough treasures to break through the robbery realm. It is time to witness a wave of history. Jian was double-faced color remained unchanged, and he said calmly, let's leave as soon as possible. This place is still some distance away from the starting point of the infinite world, so no more time can be wasted. The 3 walked towards the valley where Wu Li was. Calm here is also restored. Outside world. There are still many strong men watching this battle. It was discovered that Jian Wushuang had killed the 2-3 Tribulations Universe Masters in a straightforward manner, and both began investigating Jian Wushuang's identity. What? He is still an emperor. Many people can't help but exclaim, an emperor kills the 2 masters of the universe in seconds. This kind of thing is just like the legend. Today they actually let them see it with their own eyes. Haha, our 16 kingdoms Tianjiao, each is like this, just ask you if you are afraid. A robbery expert, deliberately stimulating those secret realm experts loudly. The strong from all sides were also divided into 2 groups. Only the strong of the Gumu school watched indifferently. They knew about Jian Wushuang's strength a long time ago. But he hasn't stretched out his olive branch to recruit Jian Wushuang. This time is an opportunity. Of course, to wait for Jian Wushuang to come out alive. The edge of an infinite world. An entire mountain range has become a natural barrier for the infinite world. Jian Wushuang and others will make peace with Wu Li. He began to rush on his way, and now he has reached the edge of the mountain range. It is very close to the assembly place. On the way, they are equally unlucky. I have encountered a lot of desolate beasts at the tribulation realm level. Fortunately, they are not strong, with only 200,000 or 300,000 divine powers, and they can kill them at will. Just when the group of them was about to leave the mountain range, the token on Jin Chen's body changed. Special mission? Wu Li and Elder Mu Chen spoke in unison. Jian Wushuang looked at the 2 in confusion, not knowing what had happened. At this time, Zhou on the side said, it seems that our luck is better. I didn't expect to receive a special mission from the Jiu Mu faction before reaching the depths of the infinite world. Unfortunately, it's just a special task for the Emperor, and I don't know what rewards will be. Elder Mu Chen is still a little regretful. If the Lord of the Universe receives the special task, it will make a lot of money. Wu Li hurriedly reminded Jin Chen, His Royal Highness, look at the task of a few stars. 5. Jin Chen was also a little confused about this, and a little surprised why several people were so surprised. Hearing that it was 5 stars, several people were completely stunned. Wu Li couldn't restrain his excitement. This time we are really lucky. Even if it is the special mission of the Emperor, he can have 5 stars. The treasures obtained are absolutely extraordinary, and there is a possibility that there will be advance plans. Advance map, what is that? Jian Wushuang grasped the point and finally inserted a sentence. At this time, Elder Mu Chen told him and Jin Chen about some strange assessments in the holy meeting. The tokens issued to them were not used for voice transmission. The biggest use is to issue tasks. What is sent to the Emperor is the task of the Emperor, which can only be completed by the Emperor. Then the mission is divided into 6 stars in total. For the 6-star mission, there is only 1 in the entire assessment. The reward is also the biggest. Not only can you get some rare treasures, you can also get advance maps. The advance map represents the map route of the world they are in. The marked routes are generally safe routes. With a safe route, they can reach the end as quickly as possible. The 6-star special mission must explode the advance map. For the 5-star special mission, there is only a 50% chance that the advance map will be released. Tasks are also divided into types. Special tasks are released to individuals, and you can also bring your companions to explore together. Group quests, www.ukanshu.com, are generally randomly distributed to the strong in a certain area, and they can all receive quests. However, group tasks are too risky. There are at least thousands of strong people in a region. Thousands of people gathered together to fight together. That probability is too small. Special tasks, only known to them, are almost certain to be won. Since it's so important, it's better to inform. Princess Jin Chen was interrupted by Jian Wushuang next to her before she finished her words. No, since it is the special task of the Emperor, we can solve it by ourselves. It is useless to make your Majesty. On the contrary, it will be stunned. Now your Majesty and the others should have arrived at the assembly place. Where there are many people, if your Majesty rushes out, it will definitely be. Being stared at is not worth the loss. Elder Mu Chen nodded and agreed. Wushuang Yin nephew is right. You must not inform your Majesty. Since it is the special task of the Emperor, you and Wushuang should be able to complete it. Chapter 5805. Haha, for Wushuang, it must be easy. Wu Li and Zhou both smiled. 5 stars. It's very difficult. That's for other people. For Jian Wushuang, it was equal to no difficulty. Look at the detailed content of the mission. We must be fast, not to make people doubt it. Jin Chen took out the token, took a closer look, and replied, in the southwest, you can fly in about a quarter of an hour, and there will be more hints when you get there. That's it. The 5-star mission is really extraordinary. Set off. The 5 changed directions, originally heading north. Now heading to the southwest, flying fast. At this time, there are not many teams in the mountains, and most of them have arrived at the assembly point. My hip flask can repair immortals without pop-up windows. Even the fast ones have entered the periphery of the infinite world. Jian Wushuang and the others were too bad luck, otherwise they would be able to set off early. It's just that they didn't expect that there is still a team, which is also very unlucky. Before entering the infinite world, the 2 masters of the universe have fallen. Nowadays, a lot of people are behind, only to reach the edge of the mountain range. Several figures also appeared in the sky near the mountains. One of them was a burly man with long hair on the temples. His eyes were like torches. He stared at the auras in front of him, and said in surprise, these auras. How do you move towards? Run in the opposite direction of the assembly location? A blue-haired wolf leader in the team asked in surprise. So familiar, is it a team from Vietnam? Your script is really good-looking, no pop-up window. Is that to make you lose the Vietnamese team of 2 wolf monarchs? The burly man said coldly, I don't think their strength is very good. It's time to reflect on the greedy wolf. Greedy wolf's eyes are blood-red, not because of hatred for Yu Guo, but because of the words of a burly man who made him very uncomfortable. Although they are all powerhouses in the Sirius Secret Realm. But the Sirius Secret Realm has 2 5 Tribulations Realm Masters of the Universe, and both have seen this holy meeting. Both of them are also their masters. It's just that the people in his belt have fallen, and they happen to meet each other again, and they walked with each other. Kuei Lang, you should pay attention to their whereabouts. That direction is the southwest, not the direction of the assembly point. Now that many teams have assembled at the assembly point, they have started to set off. They are heading southwest at this time. They must be picking up. When it comes to the mission, we can come to a mantis to catch the cicada. Greedy Wolf is not as strong as Kuei-lang, but his brain is much more flexible than the opponent. Cannon Fodder just wants to cultivate immortals without pop-up windows. If Kuei-lang had encountered Jian Wushuang earlier, he would not retreat at all, he would definitely have to fight a battle. The other party is a famous lunatic. Few people dare to provoke him in the Sirius secret realm. Kuei Lang touched his temples and laughed. You are still useful, so what are we waiting for? Follow up. Wait a second, follow up now, they are likely to leave if they are found. Greedy Wolf quickly stopped everyone. A group of 6 people. They were all Kuei Lang people, so they didn't listen to his persuasion at all. Fearful of hands and feet, even if it's a special task, you must pay a price if you dare to kill my Sirius clan powerhouse. Kuei Lang, no matter how many, directly led people to chase him. Greedy Wolf cursed secretly in his heart. If it were not for the same clan, he would be like a strong man who joined forces with Yugua and killed Kuei Lang. Start with the latest chapter of 100 Years. The brain is too stupid. Such a missed thing must be straightforward. Fortunately, Jian Wushuang and the others were fast enough, and it would take time for Kuei Lang and others to catch up. At this time, Emperor Jian Wushuang and others had arrived at the mission location. Cool. The cold wind howled. In the mountains in the southwest, there is snow all year round and the temperature is extremely low. After a few people looked around, they didn't find anything, and they fell directly to the ground. Ding! Jin Chen's token changed again, and several people gathered around at the same time. Enter Snow Shadow Mountain. Everyone was taken aback. Snow Shadow Mountain? The mountains here stretch to nowhere. Where can I find them? World of Royal Beasts. Starting contract. Just when they were at a loss, a strong wind rose suddenly. The wind and snow blew to everyone in an instant. Jian Wushuang raised his hand to block Hanshue, squinting to look forward. Where? He pointed out with his finger. Everyone looked at it together. It was the place where the wind and snow hit. A dark hole. I don't know when, the word Shueying appeared above. Wu Shuang sage nephew, you take Princess Jin Chen to go, we are here to protect the law for you. Elder Mu Chen began to arrange some simple formations, in order to be in need. Jian Wushuang nodded, his divine power spread out, and directly wrapped Princess Jin Chen, rushing towards the entrance of Shueying Mountain. That wind and snow force is extremely powerful. By you of the past, no pop-up window ordinary emperors can't get in. Just to enter Shueying Mountain, you need 200,000 divine power. Had it not been for his divine power to envelop Jin Chen, the opponent would have been blown out a long time ago. Go straight in. Jian Wushuang turned his head to look at Jin Chen, and asked if he had any other explanations. Jin Chen didn't speak, but just nodded. Jian Wushuang didn't hesitate either, and led her directly into the dark hole. Just before he entered the entrance of the cave, he felt a dangerous breath, coming from a distance. But at this time, he had reached the edge, and he couldn't stop, so he could only send a message to Wu Li in a hurry to make them be careful. There are strong people approaching them. The task must be completed quickly. Back to the 90s as a dad's works catalog, he was really worried about Wu Li's fall. Without Wu Li, he couldn't even find Wn Liu, let alone go in. After pulling Jin Chen into the Shueying cave, the wildness disappeared. Ding! The token rang again. Kill the Snow Shadow Demon King. The content is simple and rude. Jian Wushuang is even more so. As soon as he entered the cave, he found several snow monsters, none of them weak. Both have a supernatural power of about 200,000. The average emperor really couldn't deal with it. But for Jian Wushuang, just the appearance of the sword aura could kill these snow monsters instantly. He didn't dare to drag the mud and water, leading Jin Chen to kill the snow monster all the way, and entered the depths of Shueying Mountain. At this time, outside Shueying Mountain. Before Wu Li received Jian Wushuang's transmission, she frowned. Because he found someone rushing here, and more than one. There are 7 strong people. The weakest have 400,000 supernatural powers. Among them are 2 strong men with more than 500,000 supernatural powers. It must be the master of the universe in the 4 tribulations realm. When he received Jian Wushuang's transmission, he was stunned. It was not an accident to those strong. It was an accident to Jian Wushuang. The news that the strong came was informed by the existence in his body, but Jian Wushuang actually knew about it. This shocked him extremely. The existence in his body is incredible. Now he didn't have much time to think about it, and he quickly reminded Mu Chen and 9 tigers to prepare for battle. The next moment, a row of figures appeared above their heads. Legacy. Kuei Lang. It's over. People have entered a state of despair, and the enemy in front of them is far beyond their ability to contend. Chapter 5806. Jiuhu took 2 steps back and was ready to escape. The master of the 2 great 4 tribulation realms universe. The cunning wolf has a supernatural power of 500,000. The mighty Kuei-lang has a supernatural power of 530,000. How do they fight? Hurry up and inform you, the female emperor. Jiuhu shouted anxiously. The moment Elder Mu Chen saw this, he had already sent out the message. The empress quickly responded. The patriarch of the Li family, with 2 powerful 4 tribulation realms from the royal family, was able to come soon. They only need to withstand an hour. An hour! At this time, you can prepare funerals for them. Mu Chen knew this too, but there was no other way. Can only hold on. How long does it take? Wu Li frowned and asked. Elder Mu Chen did not speak. This time is too long, and it makes people desperate to say it. He has already begun to prepare for the funeral, that is, desperately blocking it. At the same time, pray that Jian Wushuang will encounter trouble in Shuiying Mountain and wait an hour before coming out. At that time, you will be able to bring the task rewards to the assembly location to reconcile with the Empress. This is the best plan. Just the 3 of them, it is impossible to block these people. Greedy Wolf glanced at the 3 people below, and then saw Shuiying Cave. Without saying a word, he rushed directly to the cave. But as soon as he reached the entrance of the cave, the barrier was blocked. Can't get in? Greedy Wolf was a little surprised. The breath he felt at the beginning was only 4 people. Because Jin Chen's strength was too weak, Jian Wushuang wrapped her with divine power when he was on the way, so he was not discovered by Greed Wolf. The Greedy Wolf who had just arrived saw only 3 people. The kid with the sword is gone. He thought Jian Wushuang had gone in alone. If this is the case, then this place is the special task of the Lord of the Universe. According to common sense, they can all enter. But he can't get in now. I understood in an instant. No wonder they are waiting at the entrance of the cave. The kid carrying the sword is the Emperor. Greedy's eyes shrank, thinking of the rumors some time ago. A great emperor appeared in the Yu Kingdom, capable of bursting out of 200,000 divine powers. It now seems not only true, but also stronger than rumors. Mu Chen sneered and said, "You have discovered this. If this is the case, then you all have to die." Greedy Wolf shouted angrily, and wanted to make a move. At this moment, Kuei Lang stood up and stopped Greed Wolf. "Don't worry, no matter who enters, the treasures I can't bring out will belong to Kuei Lang, and your prey will also belong to me. Who dares to intervene, don't blame me, you're welcome." Jiuhu was so scared that he didn't dare to move. Facing a strong man far surpassing himself, he has no confidence at all. Even if it was Kuei Lang alone, the 3 of them could not hold a stick of incense together. When Greedy Wolf heard it, he said angrily, "Kuei Lang, it's not time to play, hurry up and solve them. They must have a helping hand to rush toward this side, can't be careless. If you are afraid, you can leave at any time." Kuei Lang said disdainfully, "Little Yu Kingdom is the lord of the 5 tribulations realm universe, and the remaining 4 tribulations realm cosmos lord is not as strong as me. How many do I kill?" The arrogant Kuei Lang didn't put Yu Guo in his eyes at all. Greedy Wolf alone, helpless. In his heart, he secretly scolded the other party for his stupidity. Click. Kuei Lang, who moved his wrist for a while, said calmly, "You 3 will play with me first." Elder Mu Chen made a color toward Wu Li, and the 2 of them instantly understood. The 2 of them still have some hole cards. Not to mention the secrets of Wu Li. As for Elder Mu Chen's trump card, the Horror Vine alone can raise his divine power to 450,000. Wu Li also had some backups, and he really wanted to take it out, even stronger than Elder Mu Chen. 2 people together may not be able to resist an hour. The premise is that the Greedy Wolf will not end. As long as no one intervenes, they can resist. There are also 9 tigers, and the opponent's strength is also not tolerated. With 400,000 supernatural powers, make good use of it. The three still have hope of survival. It's just that they were afraid that Jian Wushuang would come out suddenly, and when the time came, the other party had no plans to play anymore, so they would be cut off directly. That would be troublesome. Now I just hope Jian Wushuang can slow down. Inside Snow Shadow Mountain. Jian Wushuang strangled the snow monster all the way, reaching the deepest point. He just wants to get out quickly now. The blood monsters encountered on the road are getting stronger and stronger. After reaching the deepest point, ordinary snow monsters already have a supernatural power of 250,000. And in the depths, the breath of the snow monster Demon King had already appeared. The supernatural power is as high as 300,000. It's a pity that the other party was instantly shattered by Jian Qi before he saw his face. This way, Jin Chen was stunned. Those snow monsters, either side, she is not an opponent. But under the sword without hands, it is like an ant, which can be slashed at will. Looking up at Jian Wushuang's stern face, Jin Chen also had a touch of emotion in his heart. It's not an emotional touch. It's the kind of worship for the strong. In the same order. No one dared to be called the arrogant before Jian Wushuang. No one has this qualification. Perhaps her mother's queen was right when she met Jian Wushuang, it was the luck of Yu Guo and her good luck. Unfortunately, love is a word that cannot be measured by strength. The snow monster Demon King was beheaded instantly. Mission completed. The token vibrated again. Talk to the Snow King. Jian Wushuang was surprised. What kind of mission is this? As soon as he spoke, he felt a breath converging, and turned his head to look at the snow monster Demon King who had been strangled. Outsiders, you dare to kill this king. The blood on my body is the blood of the Arctic ice beasts. You will definitely die miserably. Jin Chen opened his mouth and said, Snow King, you shouldn't have been here. If you are to blame, you shouldn't leave the Arctic ice sheet. I came here for a long time, and you destroyed my homeland. The snow monster Demon King was very unwilling. Jian Wushuang thought of something at this time. Hidden task. The Arctic ice sheet, in the far north of the infinite world. To reach the end, they need to traverse the entire Arctic ice sheet. Perhaps you can ask about the situation of the Arctic ice sheet from the other party's mouth, or even an advance map. With a safe route, they will be faster. This time Jian Wushuang talked in person. It really made him ask about the Arctic ice field from the mouth of the snow monster Demon King. The three chiefs will not let you go, they will avenge Will Lump. As soon as the voice fell, the spirit of the Demon King disappeared. On the ground, a snowball and a piece of craft paper were left. Jian Wushuang was overjoyed and said, It's an advance map. He picked up something on the ground with a stride. The snowball is a treasure of the acquired universe, but I don't know how power is. He threw it directly to Jin Chen. Then I looked at the advance map. Chapter 5807. Sure enough, Shangfen marked some routes. But this route is not a safe route, but a treasure route. On the map, the locations of some heritage sites are recorded. According to the scale of the map, Jian Wushuang researched it and discovered that this route was actually a shortcut, and it was better than nothing. This time they really made a profit. Take this too. Jian Wushuang didn't take it as his own, and he gave the advance map to Jin Chen. For him, it is the most important thing for the Empress to become a candidate. He looks down on the treasures of this place. If there is a treasure that is useful to the source, he will even look at it more. The origin of his starry sky has lit up 9,000 black holes. There is 1,000 black holes short of the complete universe. The universe controlled by the Three Tribulations realm can only be regarded as the Hinayana universe. The Lord of the Four Tribulations realm universe is considered Mahayana. The Lord of the universe in the Five Tribulations realm is Consummation. And he is about to light up the perfect universe. As long as you break through the Tribulation realm, you will be able to overcome the Five Tribulations at once. Become the Lord of the Five Tribulations realm universe. Let's get out quickly. The mission was completed, and it was time to leave. He was more afraid of Wu Li's fall than the treasures he got from the mission. Hope the opponent has enough cards. He could see that there were still many secrets in Wu Li's body. Even if the strength is a little weaker, there should be a lot of cards to protect your life. Pulling Jin Chen, several flashes came to the entrance of the cave. The figures flashed, and the two left the cave at the same time. Outside Snow Shadow Mountain, Kuei Lang stepped on Elder Mu Chen's body, with one hand still carrying Wu Li, who was struggling. Nine Tigers was frightened and kept backing away, and had no fighting spirit. That's the ability, Kuei Lang said with disdain. With such a little strength, it scared the wolf to flee, and also lost the two masters of the universe. What a waste. Greedy Wolf looked embarrassed, but he didn't refute anything. He has been staring at the entrance of the hole. Huh! The breath that appeared instantly made Greedy Wolf look overjoyed. Knowing that Jian Wushuang had come out, regardless of Kuei Lang, he rushed towards the entrance of the cave, and at the same time was overjoyed. Kuei Lang looked stupidly. Rivalry Wolf cares more about those treasures than revenge. The value of the treasure is certainly not small for a special task alone. In his opinion, Kuei Lang is an idiot with well-developed limbs. As long as he takes the treasure, the credit is his. What are the deaths of the two masters of the universe? Jian Wushuang had just come out. Before he could see the situation on the field clearly, he found Greed Wolf rushing towards him. This time, he didn't need to bear it anymore. In the past, forbearance was unnecessary. This time the other party came for the treasure they got. It must be a battle of life and death. If you bear it any longer, it's time to prepare for him. The power of the beast broke out in an instant, and his divine power rose to 500,000 in an instant. Facing the claw of the greedy wolf, he took it with bare hands. The beasts were running wildly, and he held Jin Chen with one hand. The arm of the candle dragon in his left hand erupted, directly blocking the claw. This time, I won't keep my hand. Jian Wushuang grabbed the opponent's wolf claw's backhand and squeezed it fiercely. He heard a crisp sound. Greedy Wolf was shocked, and said in anger, "You still hide your strength." He didn't expect that Jian Wushuang would be so powerful without a sword. The divine power that just broke out is no longer weaker than him. Boom! A powerful force erupted from Greedy Lang's mouth, trying to attack Jian Wushuang at close range, but actually took the opportunity to get away. This little trick is hard to come by Jian Wushuang. It's just that he is lazy to pester each other. It is still important to save people first. Greedy Wolf frowned and said coldly, "Your sword is to confuse people?" "Whatever you think," Jian Wushuang said indifferently. He held Jin Chen with one hand, and walked directly in front of Kuei Lang. Mu Chen, who was lying on the ground, looked anxiously when he saw Jian Wushuang. "Come on, you are not his opponent." Wu Li, who was pinched, couldn't even speak. He originally wanted to explode, but the existence in his body reminded him that Jian Wushuang has the strength to solve these people, and there is no need to waste his treasures. Originally, Wu Li didn't believe it. But just now, when he saw Jian Wushuang, he repelled greed. And he could feel Jian Wushuang's divine power, which had surpassed him and reached 500,000. This force was already able to compete with Kuei Lang. Kuei Lang didn't care. When he just wanted to speak, he didn't see Jian Wushuang's figure clearly, and he felt like he was grabbing Wu Li's arm. Click! With a crisp sound, Kuei Lang's entire arm broke directly. The arm fell together with Wu Li. Kuei Lang was taken aback. Jian Wushuang didn't give the opponent a chance to react, and then raised his foot and kicked directly to Kuei Lang's chest, directly kicking the opponent into the mountains behind. After breaking several majestic mountains one after another, it stopped. After gathering the power of all things in his hand, it was injected into the body of Elder Mu Chen, and the other party reluctantly stood up and recovered some divine power. Feeling the powerful divine power on Jian Wushuang's body, Elder Mu Chen was completely stunned. "You go first, I'll stop them." He let go of Jin Chen and took a step forward, directly blocking everyone. Elder Mu Chen was still a little worried, but knew that staying here would only cause Jian Wushuang trouble. "Be careful, we'll make up at the assembly place." After speaking, he took Wu Li and Jin Chen and quickly flew north. Jiuhu also hurried to keep up. Now only Jian Wushuang and the 7 universe masters of the Sirius tribe remained. Greedy Wolf rubbed the crushed wolf claws, and the blue veins burst on his forehead. He didn't expect Jian Wushuang to be so powerful. An emperor is so powerful that this is something he has never heard of. The other 5 universe masters of the 3 tribulations realm also knew that they were not opponents, and they retreated one after another. Boom! Kuei Lang, who was repulsed, lacked an arm, but his divine power did not weaken. Instead, he became a little crazy. He directly hit and broke several majestic mountains and stood in front of Jian Wushuang again. With a loud shout, Com's broken arm instantly recovered. Kuei Lang stared at Jian Wushuang and said madly, "You really have some ability." "What nonsense, just do it." Jian Wushuang clenched his fists, and the red breath on his body exploded again. This time he directly used 3 times the power of the beast god. Divine power broke out to 550,000. Force Kuei Lang. Even if a few people join forces, he can quickly defeat each other. 500,000 and 50,000? Kuei Lang sneered, then turned to look at Greed Wolf and said, "This person is my prey, you can't make a move." Knowing that Jian Wushuang's divine power is stronger than him, and being so confident is obviously a lot of confidence. Greedy Wolf frowned and said in surprise, "Which trick are you going to use now? Otherwise," Kuei Lang said with disdain. You're tuning in to the Celestial War YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.